Boom, 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 shake the room. Boom, boom, shake the room. I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump.
Hello and welcome in into this week's edition of Entertainment News here at MBE. Just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. We are live and interactive, folks. I'm one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin. Our co-host singing the blues, it's John C. Walsh.
It's a song that's out. It's a Hispanic song, and the guy's singing about, I can't believe it, I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump.
Wow.
Donald Trump. Can't even say Trump.
It's
Trump.
almost as good as that Sean Connery impression you showed me the other day, John.
Oh, God, yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Private joke, folks, but...
Aren't you a shite for sure eyes? Shite for sure eyes. I can't do it. I can't do it.
He can't do it. John, we're going to be talking about Johnny Depp in a little moment. Obviously, Jack Sparrow fans are going to be furious when we talk about what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Liam Gallagher teasing a new Oasis album, perhaps.
Are we educated enough to speak about that, Stephen? That's the thing, you know.
Who knows? You don't know Cast.
We don't know anything.
If you watch the whole thing, you'll find out we do know who
Actually,
Cast.
I went after the show and listened to their songs, and I do know Cast.
Yeah. You said it during the show.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that one.
Yeah, I know the songs.
That's how I was confronting them. But anyway, and we're going to be talking about GTA 6 potential second trailer being launched in a few days' time, John. Now, when this goes out as a clip, hopefully I get it out in time, so it'll be dead in the water. But we're going to be talking about some sad news as well. But before we do that, John, we'll talk about Johnny Depp. That is the headline. That is the thumbnail.
Jonathan
and
Depp.
We're talking about Jack Sparrow. We're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean 6 news. Pirates of the
That's
Caribbean.
not what we're talking about.
Producer Jerry Bruckheimer remains open to Johnny Depp's return as Captain Jack Sparrow, despite Depp's previous statements that he would avoid Disney projects, while fans continue to hope for Depp's return. Recent news suggests it's unlikely in the near future. A new Pirates of the Caribbean movie is tentatively planned to begin production in late 2025 in St Vincent and Grenadines. I hope I said that right. The film
sounds like a Bermudan or Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've already said it wrong.
Caribbean.
The film is expected to either introduce a new cast in a reboot or be a female-led spin-off featuring Margot Robbie, leaving fans disappointed over Depp's absence from the upcoming instalment. That's if that is the case, of course. I'll put my tuppence worth in, John, before you come in. I kind of gave up after about the third film with the Pirates Caribbean. I just thought it was a franchise that was just tired at this point. We had sort of main cast members sort of dipping in and out of different films because obviously they must have seen the, what's the word? What was the thing they were going to say about comic book films?
Fatigue. Superhero fatigue, comic book fatigue.
For the actors for Pirates of the Caribbean, we saw Orlando Bloom dipping in and out, Keira Knightley as well doing the same thing. The one consistent thing across the board was Johnny Depp up to this point. 2 years ago, John, he was ditched by the studio. Yeah. Obviously, with the pending court case with his ex-wife, which played out. We all know the result of that. And he did stay. He made a statement saying he would never return to a Disney-led product.
Production. Yeah.
So, money talks, perhaps.
I don't think so, Stephen. Johnny doesn't need money. No. He's already very wealthy. He's had an extremely successful career, both musically in recent times and as an actor. But not just as an actor, but sponsorships and endorsements and whatnot, being the face of Dior and their sort of fragrances, Sauvage and Elixir for a number of years. This guy has made millions, tens of millions of dollars. He's extremely rich. He doesn't need the money. He's at a point in his career now. He's in his 60s, I think, just 61. Yeah. He's getting to that age where he's got don't give a fuck money, for lack of a better phrase. And he can pick and choose what projects compel him moving forward in his career.
At the moment, what he is doing, he's worked on a couple of independent European films because he can. He can,
because he's at that point in his career now where he can pick and choose what he wants to do. If he wants to do a big blockbuster movie for an esteemed studio, a Warner Brothers, a Disney or whatever, I don't think they'd be front of the queue to pick up Johnny because of the way they treated him.
Do you think perhaps being the person that he is, he wants to please the fans, though.
No, Steve, because I think the fans realise that he gave his heart and soul to Jack Sparrow for 5 movies, well over a decade of storytelling and obviously character building. I've never really seen this great desire, certainly from myself, to see Jack Sparrow back, to see a 6th sort of iteration of Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't have this burning desire.
Yeah.
It's been, 7 years now since the last one came out. And then the last one, we had a great, almost was like a farewell for me. I mean, it felt like it was the end for the character. I've not seen it in a number of years, but it was a great sort of flashback sequence, I'm sure, showing the sort of travails of a very young Sparrow.
Yeah.
But any number of these movies could have been the final curtain for Jack Sparrow, and I'd have been quite pleased. I don't have this burning desire to go back and revisit Pirates of the Caribbean as a franchise, or indeed Jack Sparrow as a character. I feel that we've had 5 movies. Yeah. And look, Steve, I'll bring it up just to sort of hit home the state of play with Pirates of the Caribbean over the course of the last, it's 11 years. It had its run, 2003, 2006. It was more than 11 years. I'm talking shouts, 14 years. Clearly I can't count. We've already established that. My master, they're all right at times, but they can be fucking shocking in other instances. A 14-year run as a franchise, and barring the first movie in 2003 being out of sequence, you can see it's pretty much ever diminishing returns from the franchise. Most successful was the second instalment, I should say, Dead Man's Chest. I presume that was the one. I mean, I've not went back and watched these movies in a long, long time. What was the one with? Oh God, what was he called again? The Squid Face. Blank on his name.
That was Jeffrey Rush. Yeah.
Was that Curse of the Black Pearl? That was the first one.
That was the first one. Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to go back and watch these movies to refresh my memory.
It was Davy Jones.
Jones.
Played
was that Bill Nye?
Bill Nye. Yeah. I think it's second.
And then we
one,
had your man Javier Bardem was in one as well. Yeah. They were all good movies, man. I loved them. They were a throwback to the old Indiana Jones kind of movies, kind of carefree, frenetic action adventure movies. Didn't really overstay their welcome. Quite simple in their construct. But you can see there, man. I mean, lifetime gross, 400 million, 309, and it just gets worse and worse as the years go on, really.
That's not in sequence, is
no,
it?
No. I mean, that's the rank.
That's
the lifetime rank best performance. So the second one's the best performing. The third one's second best. First is third best, and then you see the last 2. Am I talking shit here? Dead Man? No, it definitely is. Dead Man Men Tell No Tales is the last one. And On Stranger Tides was the 4th iteration, and they are significantly lower.
Keith Richards, and one with, I think Paul McCartney was in one.
Yeah, he was, and he done a little sing-song, yeah. But they performed significantly worse, Stephen. Yeah. So you're seeing there, the last 2 iterations, probably critically well received, and certainly from the fan base, probably enjoyed by the hardcore fan base. But in terms of sheer box office success, I mean, it's similar amount of theatres, and they're just not opening to anywhere near the same level, and they're not making anywhere near the money
I'm
that
just
the previous ones made.
Sort of opening.
I mean, you can understand Curse of the Black Pearl. It was a different time, and there hadn't been a Pirates movie.
Yeah, exactly. The word of mouth wasn't quite there yet. But obviously, you see the next one after that would be Dead Man's Chest, which is almost, what we're talking, 3 times. 3 times the opening, isn't it?
That was the second one, though, so there would have been a lot of expectation.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? And John, I got a lot of enjoyment out of the first film. I thought it was something, it was like, as you said, it had a lot of tradition in it in terms of the sort of theme to it and the sort of feel as well, and those characters larger than life. But there was something just unique as well about it. It was a performance, I think, of Johnny Depp in it, because I'll put my hands up and say that I wasn't the biggest fan of Johnny Depp in terms of, I enjoyed his films, but I just thought a lot of his characters were very samey. When he stepped into this role, I thought, well, I mean, he still get the English accent, I suppose, but there's something different about this, something lively about this character that I do like, and his swagger and the way he's speaking and just his demeanour. It was everything that I expected from a light-hearted adventure pirate adventure film, starring Johnny Depp, and I think he played a blinder. But it's how long can you do that for without it becoming a bit samey. And
Well, obviously the first couple of movies as well, he had Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley,
yeah.
and they were great
Will
supporting
Turner, yeah.
characters who helped sort of give a more serious tone when required to the movie, because Sparrow was always out his mind drunk. He was always sort of switching back and forth between various sides. He was almost like a Krychek in Pirates of the Caribbean land. He was a deeply deceitful and
As pirates do.
untrustworthy guy, but obviously a maverick and much beloved by the audience watching it. He was definitely the sort of the protagonist, the main guy in the story. But there was interesting side characters, and obviously they kind of disappeared as we move forward. I can't remember the last one Orlando was in, but certainly I don't think he was in the last two. I may be mistaken. And obviously Keira just disappeared off into the sunset and had other things in mind.
Yeah, life. Yeah.
In life, exactly. So that's the most important thing with this franchise. It's not just about Sparrow, it's about the necessity for a story. It's about the necessity to bring back this character. I don't feel there's any necessity.
Am I right in saying Tom Hollander was in the first film? You know the English actor Tom Hollander?
I'd have to search him up. I would have to.
I think it was the first one.
Tom Hollander.
Yeah.
Let's have a look again.
Yeah, he was in.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I know his face right away. Yeah,
as well, yeah. He was a great actor.
He was a little shit in Pride and Prejudice.
Weasel. Yeah. He's a weasel in a lot of films, but yeah, there was something about, as you said, just that extended cast. He talked about Bill Nye, one of our favourite actors, John, over the last 20 odd years. He talked about Javier Bardem as well coming in.
That's one thing they always had. They always had brilliant villains in these films, Stephen. But I just don't feel that there's a necessity there to bring the story back. I feel that we've had 5 movies, they've done their time, and there's a natural conclusion. The diminishing returns from the box office should be a red herring to the studio not to continue, and certainly not without Depp. That's with Depp, and it's still dropping off a cliff. Without Depp, this franchise is dead. And it goes back to what I said before, Stephen, really. Johnny Depp is Pirates of the Caribbean. You hit the nail on the head when you says that what made the first movie so enjoyable and what gave the franchise that burst of life was the performance of Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, playing this sort of drunken Keith Richards, Rolling Stone kind of persona, and just doing it brilliantly, and just the escapades he'd find himself going on and the pitfalls he'd face. That's what made it so watchable and so funny and so, I don't know, entertaining. So without him, it's dead. There isn't a franchise without Johnny. He is the franchise. He's the primary character. You take that away, it's dead. It's deader than dead, man. And at 61, has he got the energy and the physicality to portray that character? Because you go back 21 years, it's a very physical performance. He's all over the place. He's bouncing around.
Yeah, exactly.
And Stephen's always been a stickler for delivering high octane performances in these kind of character roles.
I don't know the relationship, but you'd think that both sides would have moved on from it. But I get that that the way he was treated was very harshly until things had played out. I think
that's a whole other thing.
Disney should have maybe have just held it together for a year or two and just not done anything.
I can understand from Disney and to a lesser extent Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers have kind of painted themselves or pushed themselves into a corner with the whole Ezra Miller stuff and the way that he acted, and then giving him the opportunity to continue in his role as Flash and to release that movie and have him on the press circuit and on the red carpet. That was outrageous, because some of the shit he was getting up to was criminal. I mean, the police were after him. He was breaking into homes and drinking people's beer and fucking spirits and whatnot. He had a breakdown, the guy. I feel for him. It's not like he was willfully going out and doing these things, but he had a real bad mental period. And that's not me saying mental in the Scottish form, but it's like he's nuts, he's mental. It's like he had a mental breakdown, the guy. So I'm trying not to be too harsh, but at the end of the day, they didn't deal with that situation the same as Johnny Depp. But Disney, to an extent, I can perhaps understand more, because they've got a certain identity, certain...
Kid friendly.
Yeah, they're kid friendly and they like to portray themselves as squeaky clean despite some nefarious past antics of certain individuals. So when he lost the London, obviously, case and was branded a wife beater and whatnot in The Sun and get away with that, they get away with that, and he actually lost the trial in London. I can understand Disney sacking him or not wanting anything to do with him, mutually consenting out of it. But after the second Ulster trial in the United States and they won that, I don't understand why there was still stuff going on there with Warner Brothers, but neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But they did what they did. He's done what he's done. They've moved on. Stephen, Margot Robbie though, man, what's
I
your
was going
thoughts
to
on
talk
that?
about that in terms of the fans of the franchise, John. Where does that leave them? That leaves them with a potential reboot with a new cast or a Margot Robbie female-led spin-off, which I would assume would still exist in the world that obviously, that Johnny Depp sort of built up over the years. Where does that leave them? Where does that leave the fans? I mean,
I'm
for
just
me,
concerned about my mic at the moment.
I can't really class myself as a massive fan because I think I stopped after the third film, as I said. So there's people out there that love these films, and we'll be very interested to see will there be a Pirates of the Caribbean 6, or will it be a spin-off? Will it be a reboot where we reset and everything? I think whatever way they look at this, it's not going to be good for the audience. It's not going to be good for this fan base. One, you're not getting Johnny Depp back.
My God, this mic is fucking doing my head in.
Or you're getting a reboot, and what comes with a reboot is a retelling of the story from start to finish again. Have you got the energy for that? And also the Margot Robbie female-led spin-off, which would be connected, I would assume, to the existing films. I don't know. I don't think there's a win-win situation here for anyone, to be honest with you.
I'm just going to hold this mic like this the rest of the show because it's just ghost. No, Stephen, I don't think it is. It's going to be awkward. This is terrible.
This is John Walsh, reporting from Washington, D.C. Back to you.
Oh, God, honestly. I need to buy a new shot mount. It's fucking outrageous. And it wasn't cheap. That one that you've got, Stephen, came with the original. Setup, and it's probably cheaper than this one. But it's still going strong, and this is just falling apart. I think I've got like fucking bottled up nervous energy or something. I like to just keep fidgeting with things though, and I keep touching it. It'd be fair, it keeps sliding.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep touching it. So it's self-fulfilling. But I'll sit like this like a fucking gimp for the rest of the show, holding the mic. But yeah, Stephen, look, Margot Robbie, I mean, well, I love Margot as an actor, as a figure. She's very inspirational, and what she's done moving into production's a really clever thing because she's given longevity to her career. Sadly, in Hollywood, women don't have as long a career as a leading sort of figure in films as men do, as the age and the beauty that they are perceived to have starts to maybe go away with age, which is bollocks because we've seen it with the likes of Meryl Streep and Kate Blanchett and stuff like that. Liv Tyler, she's got older, looks different to what she did 20, 30 years ago, but still looks good. But when it starts to go in the eyes of studio heads, then they don't have a career as an actor, a leading actor anymore. So her branching out like Michael B. Jordan's doing and doing production work, brilliant. But as much as I like her, I don't want to see her in this role. Like I says, the franchise is just built around Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp's performance, his larger-than-life persona, just the high-octane fucking physical acting, that is the character, is the story, it is the franchise. You take that character away, it's dead, there's no interest.
John,
and you've got the whole other aspect of just, rightly or wrongly, the usual figures will be taking pot shots. Why they forcing a woman lead down their throats? Why they forcing identity politics? Why is there forced representation in this film? Regardless of whether that's the case or not, it'll be dead in the water because there'll be a whole side
people
of...
will put a spin on that, regardless if it's going to...
Sometimes I agree with it because it's so transparent what they're doing, but sometimes... Yeah, I mean, that's fucking shockingly bad.
Charlie's Angels. That's two right away.
And then you've got the director taking pot shots at half the fan base. Why it's their fault this movie's failing. No, you're making shite movies and no one wants to go and waste their time. Time's precious. It's the most precious commodity we have, and no one's going to waste it going watching a fucking train wreck of a film just because it's got 50 women that you perceive to be important.
Yeah, I tend to find, John, when they promote a film in the sense that this is not made for you, then fine, I will not watch it then. It kind of puts me off going to see it anyway.
You know what kills that argument stone dead though, Stephen? This absolute pish about all pretty much female-led movies not having the interest of males and audiences that are not I mean, they're just the bollocks they come away with. I'm not going to go into the sort of minutiae of it. Just it's got all women. So the reason this has failed is because there's no men watching it because men hate women. Fucking nonsense. It's bullshit. What kills that is death proof because it was pretty much all women. Rosario Dawson, lots of other figureheads, and that was like 20 years ago.
Yep.
A very successful film. It was all women, and they beat the shit out of Stuntman Mike at the end. People fucking loved it. I love it.
Yeah.
You love it.
I was like, yay!
Last I checked, I'm a guy. I really liked that film. I liked the fucking music.
The best bit of that film for me was that moment when I think he was like, he came out his car after hounding them for such a long time. And Kurt Russell comes out and he's like, it was nice knowing these ladies. And when he puts his arm up, he gets shot in the arm.
Yeah.
Such a fucking good shot.
Yeah.
And it's his reaction as well. Is that, why did you do that? You fucking try to kill them, that's why. You've already killed off a set of females
That was
in
a
the
fucking
first
epic.
half.
It was an epic fucking shot though when the legs are going flying and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh.
It was just a great film.
Yeah.
And that's the key point I'm trying to make. You make an interesting story and brilliant film. It doesn't matter who the cast are, what gender they are, whether they even associate with a gender, whether it's perceived or very real agendas in there, politically, fucking representation wise, people will enjoy it because if the story's good.
Yeah.
It's all about making good films. You make a shite film, Charlie's Angels, Ghostbusters 2016, Terminator Dark Fate, The Acolyte.
It's forced.
It's forced.
Yeah.
People see through it. They don't connect because it's fucking
It should
crap.
be organic, it should be natural, and you don't even notice it, John. That's a good written film.
I
John,
hope people don't notice me holding this microphone. It's very, it's like the
I
claw.
was 15 years old when
How's the audio?
Linda Hamilton came back to reprise her role as Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, John. And I could not believe the transformation in that actor, her physical transformation and her assertiveness in that film as well. And it's not something that you look back and go, geez, that was so forced, because it wasn't. It was just a natural progression for the character because of good writing.
Should have a white shot of that.
Yeah.
So I could try and-
Have you got anything else you want to say, John, before we move on to our next topic?
No, look, the franchise is pretty much dead for me. It was dead when Johnny gets sacked. Disney made their bed, they have to lie in it now.
Yeah.
And it was already going that way, even with Johnny anyway. I mean, there was 5 movies, 3 were very successful. You could argue the other 2 were successful as well, but just significantly less successful.
Comparison, yeah.
And you can see the trend. It's trending downwards. And that was with Johnny. Without Johnny, it's a no-go for me. I've got no interest in watching it. And the one final thing I would add, Stephen, I was watching Russell Crowe speaking about Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. That was another sort of seafaring pirate kind of thing, but it was more historically accurate and very serious and drama-driven. And someone asked him why that didn't perform as well and why there wasn't sequels, and he says he was interested in sequels, but it was sadly just poor timing because it was the same year Pirates of the Caribbean came out, and what they did, they get in first, and it was completely different.
You see it happen.
And it was a different, yeah, you do, yeah, Nosferatu. It's the opposite way, but no one's going to watch the other one. And he basically says, poor timing, they get in first, lightning in a bottle, and then everyone just, that was their pirate sort of movie, and no one wanted to watch Master and Commander. I watched it, it was fucking amazing.
1998, there was a film came out, Armageddon, and there wasn't, I'm not talking about the Bruce Willis one, which came out the same year. It was another one that was a straight to global video rental, and just bad timing. You know, they probably thought they had a good idea. They thought, this is a good concept. I think Deep Impact was already out at this point, I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Was that the one with Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman,
yeah. I love that film.
And they must have thought they were on it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Hollywood blockbuster came out.
Is that the one your dad?
Yeah, this is the one. I wanted anyway. I was like, really? Don't even know anybody in that film.
Stephen tells a brilliant story, or stories of his childhood going to Blockbuster, or not Blockbuster, Global Video, it would have been, and his father deliberately picking up films that had similar titles to big blockbuster, well-known films, and then just like standing his ground saying, nope, I wanted to watch that anyway, and then they had to go and watch it, and it was like Z-list
over the weekend.
Yeah. They were great times,
you had
man.
to rewind the tape. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Or you get charged.
Yeah, I loved Global Video, man. And then they introduced video games, Nintendo 64 and PS1 and shit like that. And it was just simpler times, great times. Getting into that store and they all had a certain aroma.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was just the Shettleston branch that I went to.
That one had some kind of weird sewage leakage thing going on our carpets.
Well,
It
we
was
were
weird.
talking about a certain individual earlier and what he perhaps smells like. And, you know, now that we're kind of went on to this, it wasn't the tangent I was expecting, but that's probably what he smells like. Probably smells like that. Well, not name him or them. Probably smells like that, though. Yeah.
Global Video. In
Global
Shettleston.
Video in Shettleston. Really specific, but
Yeah.
kind of just unclean. The opposite of a hard day's night. He's a very clean man. He's a very unclean man. Very sweaty. Very chafing. He kind of got. Is that a word? I don't know. Fuck it. Don't want to see it. No interest. I'm not furious though. Clearly, I'm not a big enough Sparrow
That's
fan.
what I was thinking for myself. I'm not that upset about it. I just kind of meh.
And look, I love Johnny.
Yeah.
I grew up watching this guy. He kind of haunted me with Edward Scissorhands. I didn't really like.
Haunted me with Willy Wonka.
Well, Willy Wonka, yeah, it was kind of sort of Jeffrey Epstein paedophile
Weird
Wonka.
thing.
We've got a couple of comments. I'll get on to them in a moment.
Yeah.
But Stephen, it's just the thing for Johnny that stood out, and it's why ultimately, I mean, I'm not going to linger too long on this. I understand we've got other things to talk about, and we're a half an hour deep. I never, ever, in my wildest imagination, thought that we'd speak this long on this. But he's just such a brilliant character actor. You think of Edward Scissorhands, you think of Sleepy Hollow. He was so menacing and sort of dark in that. I mean, I didn't like the Tim Burton Willy Wonka film, but again, it put his own edge on it. Also, Jack Sparrow. I mean, off the top of my head, there's other ones I'm sure he's done. I loved the fucking Native Indian thing, weird thing that he done. You know what I'm talking about? Everyone hated that. I was howling at that. I loved that film, man.
Yeah.
People think it's shit.
He played Tonto, wasn't it?
I loved it.
The Lone Ranger.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it. It was just, for me, hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know if that says more about me. But so the point I mean is I love Johnny,
Yeah.
but I'm not furious. Johnny has to move on. Johnny's doing his own thing now, man.
Yeah.
He's getting shit from people saying he's not playing the guitar. He fucking is playing the guitar. Hi, just message you on Instagram account. Kindly respond so I know what to do. I don't know what this is.
I'll go into Instagram right now, folks,
Yeah.
and I'll have a wee look. A little gander, as we say here.
I get the feeling this may be a scam.
Yeah, you're going to see us getting scammed live on.
I mean,
here, folks.
this is just ridiculous. Me holding this mic like this, man. It's just so awkward. I look like a little weird. I have to stress my hands are not that small. I've got pretty reasonable size hands, but it's just like incredibly small. I look like that little Toby fucking, you know what I'm talking about? Actor, little German actor.
Yeah, digital marketeer, by the way.
Is
We'll
it?
get back to you.
Toby
Toby Jones.
Jones, little teeny guy.
Yeah.
I look as though I've got his hands. They look really small, don't they, my hands? I have to stress, I play the guitar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty competent on the guitar.
You cannot have small hands if you play guitar.
I mean, I'm not got George Harrison hands, but I'm pretty fucking. My hands are all right. They're not that small, but they look small. I digress.
We're talking about music, John. We're just going to briefly mention.
I'm going to end up cramping up here, man.
We're going to just mention the sad passing of Quincy Jones, who passed away at the age of 91 on Sunday, John. Quincy Jones, the legendary songwriter, record producer, and film and TV producer, has died at 91. Known for his groundbreaking collaborations with musical icons like Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, and Frank Sinatra, Jones left an incredible mark on the entertainment industry over his decade-long career. His influence spanned numerous genres and reshaped popular music, contributing to some of the most memorable songs and albums in modern history. He passed away on Sunday, November 3rd, 2024, leaving behind a rich legacy celebrated by fans and artists alike. John, we were talking about Quincy before we came on. We didn't want to just shoehorn him in right at the start. But I think, you know, at the age of 91, it's a good age. It's a really good age to live to. This guy had such a... I don't want to say he had a great life or anything like that, but he had such a incredible life in terms of what he achieved in that space of time on film, on music as well. We're talking about, obviously, he worked with Tupac, he worked with Donna Summers, the stuff that obviously he's done in film. I think he produced the Michael Jackson, a lot of his work he did. I don't know if it was the last thing he did, I'm not sure, somebody can quote me if I'm wrong, but I think his number ones from 2003 was the producer on that as well, putting that together. Yeah. But this guy, Austin Powers as well, I've got to mention Austin Powers, that legendary theme from Austin Powers was all down to this man as well. But this guy was genre jumping before anyone else was doing it. This guy was doing rap, he was doing disco, he was doing pop, he was doing rock, he was doing jazz, and he was doing obviously the crooner stuff with Frank Sinatra and Ray Charles. The guy's done it all. He's going to be sadly missed.
Yeah, Stephen, I'm just trying to keep a straight face whilst I'm trying to tie something together to make my microphone stay in place. It's not working. But yeah, Stephen, what I fucking, it's just a shambles. Shambles, man. Yeah, what? Screw that. I'll absolute joke, and I'm going to try and pay homage to an unbelievable figure in the history of music and cinema, and I'm mucking about with a headphone charging cable trying to hold my mic up. I mean, it's just ludicrous. I could have did this at another point. It's just ridiculous. What am I doing here? But a legendary composer, a legendary man in the world of film and music. Like you say, he worked with Michael Jackson, he worked with so many other incredible artists, worked with Will Smith on a breakthrough role in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, worked on composing one of my all-time favourite films, In the Heat of the Night, with Rod Steiger and Sidney Poitier. Yeah. Talk about a groundbreaking film back in the day, 1967, 68, tackling issues of, obviously, race and hatred and civil rights issues and whatnot in the deep south of America. A stunning film. Sidney got an Oscar for it. The theme and the main theme of the actual film is incredible.
Yeah, I think he did the Italian Job as well.
Did the Italian Job. So he did some of the great movies that I grew up watching, that was passed down to me from my grandfather and obviously my parents and whatnot. So this guy's a titanic figure. And the fact that I'm in my mid-30s, this guy's 91, and I'm so keenly aware of what he brought and just the impact it's had. I was listening to it on the radio today. It was getting spoke about all day long. So the guy has touched many, many lives. He will live on long. Yeah. He's got an incredible legacy as a composer, as a fucking music figurehead. So that's all you can really ask for in life. I keep going back to it. The song Live Forever from Oasis, it may mean something different to Noel or Liam. But to me, it always meant you're not literally going to live forever, but if you touch enough people and you leave a lasting legacy, then you will live forever, because you will live through your legacy.
You'll be remembered,
and you'll be remembered forever. And this guy will be remembered forever. An incredible figure.
Yeah.
And at 91, he had a good life, but sadly not long enough, and that's just life in general.
Yeah.
As long as we may live, it's never enough.
Yeah. As you said, his work lives on, John.
It does.
But
I'm
going to move on to our
shambles.
next topic, and we're going to stay on music. We're going to stay on talking about Oasis, actually, John. Liam Gallagher teases that he's blown away by music Noel has written for a new Oasis album. Liam Gallagher has hinted at a potential new Oasis album, expressing admiration for his brother Noel Gallagher's new songs. While no official album announcement has been made, Liam has fueled speculation with hints on social media over the recent months. In September, he responded affirmatively to a fan asking if an Oasis album was coming, saying, "Yep, it's already finished." When another fan asked if a new album was in the air, he confidently replied, "It's in the bag." Most recently, he shared his reaction to Noel's new material, stating he was blown away by the songs. Now, John, sometimes Liam...
Do we believe him?
Well, this is the thing. On social media, you've got to take what he says with a pinch of salt. Some things that he said are fine, and they have came true. Yeah. But I take this one with a pinch of salt, because I don't know if they're quite there yet in terms of Noel writing an album for Oasis. I still believe that they're testing the water with these gigs coming up next year before they cement anything.
And I'd agree. They have to find out how they're going to bounce off each other when they're physically in person.
Those new songs are for the Flying Bird.
Yeah, the Flying Bird, and Liam's got the wrong end of the sort of equation, and he thinks that they're new Oasis songs. He's going to be singing them, and in reality, it's no. He's doing what he did back in the day, writing them in a key that's way too high for Liam's voice. He'll absolutely wreck Liam's voice and then run off like Dick Dastardly. You're screwed, boy. I've done you forever now. It's too late. You're in your 50s now. There will be no recovery. But no, I agree with you, Stephen. I think they have to test the water. They've presumably had conversations over the phone. I think they've been in a room together, because they did the photo shoot for also the reunion, and you got that sort of black and white shot of them, multiple black and white shots. But being in a room Yeah, I know, but fucking hell, it's ludicrous. But being in a, being in a room together for a shoot and speaking on the phone ain't the same as being on the road with each other for numerous gigs over the bit of months on end.
Months, yeah.
They may end up battering fuck out of each other again and end up splitting up before it's even done. So I think they have to take it step by step, walk or run. Walk, crawl before you walk before you run, and see where they're at. But Stephen, I truly do hope that they do give us a new album, and that it's better than the Verve's reunion album, because Lord knows, I mean, I know some people love
Stone Roses.
Oh, I know, I never listened to that. But I'm no doubt get a comment. These guys don't know what they're talking about. But the Stone Roses for me are a weird one. Obviously, musician wise, musically wise, the guitar work is fucking incredible, and I love the sort of rambling, long instrumental parts of the songs. But I'm very much a greatest hits kind of guy with the Stone Roses. I don't dabble in the lesser known songs, and there's only so much I can take of the fucking talking, singing before I have to move on. Oasis aren't like that for me. They've always been a different beast entirely. Some people say that's blasphemy because the Stone Roses were out before, but they can quite kindly go and fuck themselves, because for me Oasis are a far better band than the Stone Roses. I'm sorry, they are. Just musically, what they did in terms of zeitgeist and pop culturally, they'll live on in the memories far longer than the Stone Roses. And I just think Noel's a better songwriter. So ultimately, a reunion album from then will be head and shoulders above the Stone Roses, because for me, definitely maybe, and What's the Story, Morning Glory, are head and shoulders above any Stone Roses album. And I'm sure people will absolutely destroy me for that. But
well, I don't know, John. I mean, it's we're talking before these things are coming out as well, so people might see this video historically and go, what did they know? You know, but so we don't have 2020 hindsight, but in terms of albums, I have to say Oasis's albums have given ever diminishing returns as whole albums. If you're counting them, you know, collectively from the first song to the last one, you're absolutely right. Definitely, maybe, and What's the Story were perfect albums.
I like Be Here Now.
Be Here Now.
I don't think it's as bad as...
It had more good songs than bad songs on it, but it still had some, not bad songs, but just not great songs. And then
Even
you move
Chemistry?
into Standing on the Shoulder of Giants was the sort of turning point for me, where I was kind of like, it was a new lineup, you know, and they changed the logo to that kind of, a bit like our sort of text there, but they changed everything. It wasn't the sort of Axum logo, if you know what I mean. It wasn't that one. Just everything about them changed. They made, I can't remember, was it Andy Bell? They made him the bassist. I think he was a guitarist in his previous band. You know, it was just, there was a lot of shoehorning. I get that album had a lot of trouble with obviously Giggsy and Bonehead leaving. Alan White was still on board at this point. He left obviously a few years later, didn't he? But just after that, he'd even Chemistry, she said, and whatever came after that. I kind of lost a little bit of interest in Oasis at that point, because I remember we did that, what was that thing we did, the sort of thing we put them into sections, that video, those videos we
Tier
did.
list.
Tier list, you know, and by the end of it, I was like, I don't know that single. I don't know that single.
Yeah.
And I quite openly...
Still had some great songs coming out in the early 2000s, though. They had Importance of Being Idle, the likes of Stop Crying Your Heart Out, even in Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. I can't even fucking speak. Was that Little by Little? What was the one that had the great Liam one? It was a great Liam tune.
Out of Time.
Out of Time. I mean, that was a later...
that was on their last album.
Yeah, I mean, so they had the odd song that came out. Obviously, in terms of all-round great albums, wasn't anywhere near the mid-early 90s.
So that would be my concern for a new album. I mean, but
you could
fresh though.
You could frame that a different way and say that they'd lost a bit of steam.
Yeah,
they'd been together. They were arguing. They were just on the road touring, making new albums, and there wasn't enough actual life experiences going on anymore to write about. And that's a problem as you get older. You don't have the same sort of youthful.
One thing that gives me hope is Council Skies, John, was a good album.
Yeah.
It was a very good album. It was a return to form, I would say.
Two of them have been doing great stuff, solo-wise, in the last few years.
I'll put my hands up and say I've not really listened too much of Liam's stuff since, obviously, the days of BDI. I've not really listened to a lot of his solo stuff. Just not get the time to do it, to be fair. But And I should have.
It's a lot more simplified than Noel stuff, to be fair, but I mean, it's still good.
If you took me from the 1990s and someone said Liam Gallagher and John Squire working on some material, I would have been jumping for joy, my younger self. But I don't know, I just wasn't really that passionate about it at that point. But I might give it a chance. But just the Council Sky stuff, I was really impressed with Noel's material on that, and it was very consistently across the board. I listened to it from start to finish. A lot of good standout tracks in there, and the ones that weren't as standout were still good. It was probably on par to be here now for me.
Stephen, I mean, I've listened to a few of them, and again, the writing and the experiences he's writing about, it's obviously, I mean, it's something that's deep within him. The Council Sky song in particular, I watched I'm pretty sure that was the behind the scenes documentary of him putting that together. It was just fascinating to see his process. I think his output as a solo artist is probably more important in the context of Oasis than Liam.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's going to be Noel's songs.
He's a composer, yeah.
He's a composer. He's a genius in terms of constructing the song. Liam's the frontman with the energy and the personality. It's going to go out and crush it in a fucking stadium or something like that. Ultimately it's Noel. And what we were lacking, like you says, with Bonehead and whatnot going towards the mid-10 stages of Oasis. When did Bonehead leave? It was like
2000.
So it was right in the middle of a sort of time as a band. You were losing that brilliance because he's a musician in his own right, an incredible multi-instrumental musician. So him coming back and being part of the process and making an album, you're getting a proper Oasis experience. I hope they do make another album. I want to hear it. I want to see what it's like getting an older 50-something Oasis album.
Yeah.
Just out of morbid curiosity, I want to hear it. I think it would actually surprise people. It would surprise me.
I would hope so, yeah.
But just again, not convinced that, I mean, Liam must know more than me. He's part of the band and it's his brother that's fucking doing it. So I presume he knows more than two shit kickers from Glasgow. I'm not convinced it's that close.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing to. This is how I take it with a pinch of salt, because I think he is a bit of a wind-up merchant, and I think if a band like Oasis, if they're going to announce anything, if they're going to be working on anything, they wouldn't be letting Liam announce it on Twitter just like that. They've got a press sort of department, I suppose. Part of their companies and stuff like that.
Well, I know he did go into a studio. He did go into studios in, I think, London. No, round about the time it got announced, the reunion, he was obviously photographed getting in. So he's been doing stuff. He has been doing work.
Well, I think he constantly does anyway. I've seen him in interviews, John. Some of those shows that we were talking about the other day, that he does try and pick up the guitar at least once a day. Yeah. So he'll be constantly working on stuff. And probably Liam has heard some of this sort of early stuff and probably thought, oh, that's good. But who knows? Is it for the high-fly bumps?
He said that he doesn't really he's not really getting many hobbies. It's just with the guitar and writing songs. That's his thing in life. So, but he's fucking good at it. So I'm not going to knock it.
Fuck the air.
Yeah, is that what he said? I love Liam, man. I do. I love the guy. I can't even lie. It's just his persona. He just didn't give a shit.
As you were.
And he's as you were, and he's never changed.
Yeah.
He's always been consistent throughout the years, and you've got to respect that. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's been in the limelight for 30, 40 years now.
I think he has mellowed.
Well, he definitely has, Stephen. The 5 a.m. runs will do that to you.
Yeah.
And I don't think he smokes anymore, does he? Also, he still drinks.
I think he's on the Guinness.
Yeah, I'm not wrong with that. I was on the Guinness the other night as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah,
it's a meal on its own.
Yeah. It is a meal, yeah.
Yeah. But no. Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. But we're going to move
Famous
on.
Grouse is a meal on its own as well. Not as good, that, by the way.
To our next topic, John, and it's all about GTA 6. We're doing some gaming news, folks. That'll help the playlist on the channel. It's not been done in fucking months. That's why I put it in here. And I want to talk about GTA 6, John, and I want to talk about gaming because I'm getting my gaming head back on. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's been long overdue. I don't know what I've been doing. Having kids, I think that's what it was. John, GTA 6.
I've never lost my gaming head. This shit. You're too old to play video games.
No,
fuck you off.
I get a thrill.
Bullshit.
Online. But John, GTA 6
I'll be playing video games when I'm 90 if I'm still here.
To launch in 2 days, apparently. 2 days from now. And this is what we know. Fans eagerly await updates on GTA 6 with speculation suggesting a second trailer might arrive soon, potentially on November 6th. Anticipation has grown as the anniversary of the first trailer approaches. I can't believe that. Sparking
mad,
discussions
isn't it?
on
Yeah.
Reddit's r//GTA 6. A user pointed to Rockstar's past announcement patterns and recent earnings reports to support the November 6th prediction. This theory has led to lively debates, with some fans hopeful for an imminent reveal, which others express frustration over continuous rumours. One fan, we're doing the same, we're spreading the rumours. One fan commented that Rockstar might drop the trailer with no advance notice, given how the first trailer was released. That is true.
Yeah, but you need to remember that first trailer got released like that because someone hacked.
They had to do it. They had to put it out. Yeah.
Yeah, they get hacked and they had the actual video files, and so they had to fucking release it. They had to get ahead of it.
I loved that first trailer.
It was brilliant,
Tom
yeah.
Petty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. What a way just to bring that world back into sort of the gamers. Sort of
Stephen, they captured
life,
Florida
yeah.
perfectly. Just the
alligators.
mental person. Yeah, that was the least of your fucking worries.
Are you talking about the one that was out in the garden? The
Yeah.
hammer or
There
something?
was so
I can't remember.
many.
An
Florida's
axe or
such a zany mental state. People are just larger than life, and it's just they captured that, and that's what I love about Rockstar and GTA specifically. They always manage to capture the vibe of the specific city that they choose or the state that they choose to set their games in. And again, it looks like they've done that just based off that first trailer that came out nearly a year ago. That's fucking crazy, man. What's more crazy is that it's not come out yet, the game, and it just seems to get pushed back.
Next
We're
year, yeah.
talking Q3, Q4 of 2025, so we're talking about now,
Yeah.
in a year's time. And when did GTA 5 come out? When was the original date? Because there was 3 versions.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. So you're talking it'll be 12 years.
Yeah, I remember it well. Because
That's
you and I
mad.
were trying to get into the online gaming thing and couldn't.
Yeah, was it Lamar or something? Was the name of the character?
Jeez.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Lamar,
You went in, and I think it was him challenging you at a race or something.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
was like
remember.
a lobby you went into, and it
Yeah.
was just absolutely cracking. Wasn't it? It was just
character creator.
just it was breaking down every time. Everyone, it was sort of
Yeah.
bottleneck. Everyone was just trying to pile in at the same time.
What I want to see in this game, though, Stephen, in terms of online stuff, I want to see more customization with characters. You need to have height and weight and whatnot customizable. Better even yet, I'd love to see a sort of sim type of thing where if you don't maintain a good habits, your character gets fat.
Yeah.
Or they get anorexic or something like that. If I
Did
want
they not do that in San Andreas?
They may have done, but I'm talking about in terms of online. That would change the game,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just as a sheer visual. But you could work it into the system. If they're overweight, they can't run as far. If they're underweight, then obviously they're fucking unhealthy. You're more likely to succumb to stuff.
More likely to get battered.
Yeah, I just want more interactivity with the online stuff. I want to see them delving into that more and more.
Work into a burger shot, or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
You
More-
just couldn't do that.
more internal buildings as well.
Yeah. A bleeder burger, as they called it back in the day.
Oh god, yeah.
Looked horrendous. I loved it, John. I loved the online of GTA 5. I loved it, but I preferred GTA 4's sort of the New York setting.
Yeah.
But I went back and played that. I think I said to you maybe about 6 months ago. I found the disc for the Xbox 360, and you obviously can do the playback thing on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Series
Series
one,
X, yeah.
whatever one. I don't even know what one I've got.
Is it black?
It's a boxy one. Yeah.
Towery kind
Yeah.
of thing? Yeah, that's Series X.
And I went back and played it, and I was like, this is not that good playability. I just had great memories of that game, chasing that little guy in the suit down the back alleyways in his scooter.
Yeah. Soonish, yeah.
And into that hotel in the online game, and people were trying to get us, and we would just stand with our rocket launchers waiting for them to come in.
20 minutes in
Oh,
there,
it was incredible.
just holding off fucking wave after wave of people.
It was like the zombie thing in Call of Duty.
Yeah, because I think it was like weapons in there that spawned in there, so you could just keep getting them and wiping them out. It was brilliant.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Cars would be flying in, you'd get blocked in,
It
they'd
was
get blown up.
fantastic. Yeah, we
But
played it hours upon hours for maybe about a good 3 years or something.
But what
like
you
that,
said there, Stephen's very important in terms of going back and playing the older versions of the games and how their playability is not what you thought it was in modern times. Obviously, back in the day, they were innovative and they were very much the best of the best at the time. That's perhaps why Rockstar have waited so long.
Yeah.
Just to obviously milk the shit out of GTA Online and get as much money, because that was a cash cow for them. They're not just doing GTA. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2, that was an incredibly immersive,
Oh, fantastic.
one of the greatest video games
Love
ever
that
made.
game. Still play that, yeah.
The attention to detail off the charts. So they were making that in between. That takes a long time. but just making sure that it's innovating, that the actual playability and the gameplay is intuitive and it's up to speed and it's maybe pushing, I don't know, about pushing boundaries in terms of video games, because they won't want to just release the same game that's been played for the last 13 years and put a new gloss of paint on it and make it look futuristic and cool, but it's just foundationally the same shit that we've been getting sold. I'm not saying it's shit, it's a great game, but they'll want to make sure every single thing is pushing the boundaries, because that's what Rockstar have always been renowned with, pushing boundaries and pushing it in terms of what they can get away with and the content and the jokes and whatnot.
I think a lot of I think a lot of gaming studios fall victim to just recycling. I think FIFA's done it. I think FIFA 2025 is not getting good reviews.
Madden,
because they're saying the playability's either samey or they've not improved it whatsoever. And I think that's Rockstar are obviously conscious of that when they bring out their releases. They want to make sure there is a different experience, a more realistic experience, because they've got the tools there, they've got the technology now from 2013, a long time ago. A lot of people still play the online games, John. They still play GTA 4, they still play GTA 5. I can't believe the amount of servers that still exist for these games.
It's crazy.
But I went back to Call of Duty 3 last week. From 2006. There was 20 people in one game, and I thought, I'm piling in as well. Why not? See if I can still remember how to play this. And I still remembered how to play it. It was incredible. And I did the same with Battlefield well, 3. Again, so many people still playing
that was an
servers.
Incredible game back today. And to be fair, I played it recently as well. I tried to cross-play and it sadly is not possible. And I completely forgot how interactive the environment is in that game. It's all destructible. And I tell you what, in terms of graphics, obviously it is an older game, but it holds up.
It's okay,
Just I was trying to aim with a mouse though, and it's just fucking. I've always been absolutely horrendous. And I spent so much money on 240 hertz fucking monitors to try and get an advantage, and I've got my G fucking whatever the hell it is, Logitech G Pro wireless best mouse on the planet, but fucking still getting wrecked with people. Still, and my reactions are unbelievable. I've done the human benchmark. It's like 150 millisecond reaction time. I am fucking rapid reaction times.
I'm still good
getting
at
wrecked.
in Call of Duty 3, I'm telling you. Still all right on it,
Point is, you go into a mouse and keyboard, Stephen.
No, I couldn't do it.
Forget about it. You're coming up against guys who have played that their entire lives. It's like an extension of their body, and they are wrecking you, man. It's like, I can't aim quicker. And I'm dying. So I need to get back to playing with controllers. And look, to be fair, even Warzone and whatnot, there's different play styles you can play with a controller and whatnot. So it's not locked in, you have to use that. But in terms of this, Stephen, what he says about FIFA as well, FIFA's an entirely different beast though, because they've just set their stall. No, I know, EAFC, When I played the last Saturday, I get bored with it, man. I don't know what it is with EA for me, AFC and just football games. I've lost my verve with them. I used to play them all the time online. I think I realised that I'm old when I played it online that last iteration, and I was playing little guys who were like 16 and they were just fucking tanning me, and I felt enormously sad at what it became of me, because I remember like 10, 15 years ago I was 18 and I was wrecking these people, man. The older people try to play me and laughing at them like, you fucking clown. I could sit and play this all day and you wouldn't get a shot. I'm ripping the absolute piss out of you. Now that's me. And I think I could probably get back into it, but it's hard work now, man. But they've set their stall out on the sort of Ultimate Team stuff, and think, is it Ultimate Team? I'm talking about the fucking pish with like,
I'm just listening to his chair.
Whining away. I've got a gommy mic and Stephen's got a gommy chair. Is it Ultimate Team? What the hell is it called again?
I think it's called Ultimate Team.
Ultimate Team, the sort of card thing, and it's like basically just it's gambling for kids.
No, I don't get it.
And then you go into Twitch and you've got Angry Ginger. He's brilliant personality, Man United fan, class guy, but he just sits and fucking opens card packs up, and it's like, I just don't get it.
No, I don't get it.
I just don't understand it. Then you go in, there's like fucking female players playing with male players.
What
and
I'm
these
hoping
teams.
for GTA 6 is a big map. I want a massive map, John. That's one of the things that really appealed to me about GTA 5 was the scale. And Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. That's an incredible map as well.
Because remember the original one was basically that one down the south, sort of east. or southwest of the map. That was the original game.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you had this whole other, and it was just brilliant, Stephen. And Red Dead, just like getting on a horse.
The
And
scale of it was incredible.
you'd say I'm in Valentine or something like that, and I'm in Saint Denis. I'll meet you midway. And it was just
miles
take
away.
like fucking 20 minutes to meet each other. And in between, you're getting assaulted by panthers and crocodiles. There's storms rolling in.
Bears.
So atmospheric. Oh, fucking bears, yeah. I'm fucking jumping off a cliff with a horse, killing my horse, because I'm like, it's a fucking bear. It's a video game, Johnny. You're not going to die.
It's
It's
good,
not
though.
real.
Yeah, it's so good.
But how many times, Steve, would you play that game? And I'm talking online, I'm not talking offline, where it's unbelievably immersive. Offline, and a storm would roll in, you'd just see the lightning hitting.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. You'd stop and have a little look. And even with GTA 5, there'd be times where I'd be on a plane and it's like clouds and you're like, I'm going to go as high up as possible and jump out. It's just little things like that. It's the detail. It's just the graphical progress. I want to see that.
We were playing GTA 5.
I'm fucking went to space.
And Battlefield 4.
Oh, yeah.
And the parachute is different in both games. In Battlefield, you get multiple parachutes. You can keep jumping off. In GTA, you don't. You get one shot.
Yeah.
You forgot.
Yeah, I jumped out.
Off a skyscraper.
Had no parachute.
You had another parachute. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were playing them sort of
back and forth. Yeah.
Incredible. But
that's what it's all about, man. It's all about Stephen. Another thing. I mean, I could fucking list all my wants for this, but I don't know what it's like now because I've not played it in a long time. But my recollection was the video, the voice stuff, the chat was just shit in GTA 5 compared to 4. 4 was anonymous, and you could just chat shit and do different accents. That's what made it so enjoyable.
Yeah, nobody knew who was talking.
You didn't know who was talking unless you physically phoned them and they answered stupidly. So you could go in and I put on Northern Irish accents, I'd put on an American accent, I'd be English one moment, I'd be like a fucking Northeastern Scottish person. You were just different personas and you could take the absolute piss out of people.
The
It was
only time
great.
your name appeared when you spoke was in the lobby before the game. So I didn't speak, so no one would know who I was.
But they took that out. And that's something, I think it was a jump over to the Xbox One. I don't know, I've not got a Series X or S now, so I don't know if they've brought that back.
We had GTA 5 for the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
It was just at that period, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we had
it jumped over,
Xbox One,
But they did something with the in-game chat and it was shite.
Yeah.
So they have to try and bring that back. That made it so enjoyable, man. Just interacting with randoms. It was brilliant.
Amazing, yeah.
Fucking FIFA back in the day, it was brilliant. You could take the absolute piss out of them. It was brilliant. Just laugh at them.
Call of Duty as well, didn't we?
You did it. And PES back in the day as well. San Etienne, who are they? There's so many memorable moments happen when you stumble across crackpots online. So they need to bring that back. There's so many. Oh God,
Do you remember that?
fucking absolute psychopaths you played against online. So these are all elements they need to bring back for me that would make it truly special. Not just the innovation in the actual gameplay and the technical side of the game, but just the online
engaging
mechanics,
stuff,
engaging and making it more immersive and enjoyable for people to play alongside each other. People have had to mod that in and do role-playing stuff, and it's fucking brilliant.
There were certain things that I liked sort of in-game and games where you had the little golf course in GTA 5. You and I used to do the round of golf in GTA 5, and also I think GTA 4, 3 or 4, can't remember, might have been Vice City. There was a bookies where you could bet on horses. I don't think they'd allow that now, to be fair.
No.
I think it's too...
Well, I mean, they're doing that in EA. Every EA game and whatnot, and 2K games got fucking gambling.
Henrik's horse,
Henrik's horse, That's all the little references. So, well, I'm buzzing for it. We've got sidetracked. We've not actually spoke about the trailer. Stephen, I like it, man. I like the look of the sort of two characters. I think they're like brother and are they brother, sister, or are they sort of a couple? I can't remember. It's been a year since I've watched it. But it's great to see fucking... You need to get that sorted out one way or the other, what it is. I think it's a sort of couple that are on the run. It's almost like Bonnie and Clyde type thing. But it's great to have a sort of female lead because we've never had that. No. And it shows you the times.
What bugged me about those games was that, you know how you just sometimes you just muck about on it online and you'd slap some people about and you'd get retaliation. And that's what you wanted. You never got retaliation from the female characters. They ran away. Everyone ran away.
Yeah. That's not reality.
That's not what would happen.
If they said it in Glasgow, then you'd be running from the female characters because they would fucking batter you. So no, they have to bring it up to be with the times and more modernised, and I'm sure they will. That's why they're leaving that huge gap. They're wanting people to be building the anticipatory juices, and they want to deliver a truly epic game, because every time a GTA game comes out, it breaks all
platforms that has been released on PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see PC there. I'm surprised.
It'll probably be there, but it'll maybe be a year later. There's normally, I don't think it might not be. It might come out at the same time. I don't know. But there usually is a bit of an issue. I don't think the PC version of GTA 5 came out at the same time as the consoles, but it's a different era now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all the same kind of hardware it's getting built on. I mean, these video game consoles now are just slightly, I don't know, compact versions of PCs.
Yeah.
It's not like before where it was like specialised stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically the same chipsets and whatnot they're using, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a miracle what they do for the fucking price, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I would never have been able to build my PC for the price of an Xbox Series X. I'm kind of like turning my nose up. £500. Bitch, you spent fucking £1,600. 600 was on a fucking graphics card, and that's like an older graphics card that's outperforming its price point. It's fucking eye-watering, the cost of PC parts. The case was like £150 alone. It's like, what the fuck are you turning your nose up at that for? You clown shoe, get a grip of yourself. But I'm just amazed that I've managed to go this entire stream holding this mic like this. It's like, to be or not to be? That is the question. I've always maintained that was my head, by the way. I always had a Macbeth, not a Macbeth, a Hamlet. Hamlet dome. And I always maintain that I will donate my skill to whoever wants it. And maybe the David Tennant of 30, 40 years will be able to hold a skull like that and say to be or not to be. I've got a nice skull. It just sits in the hand nicely. But I digress.
Like the World Cup.
Oh, yes. Like that fucking...
I always wanted to hold the World Cup.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why.
Pretty weighty.
Yeah.
You can just do the Vindaloo video. Get a sponge and dip it in and like thing, mate, and there you go. You've got the World Cup.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it back in the day, but that's an entirely different conversation. And speaking of that, Steen, I think we are going to dabble with that, aren't we? We were talking about that. I don't know if you want to do any announcements about that.
I think we'll just try to find the format. Do another live show. It might overtake what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know, because what we're doing at the moment is really just it's quite. I don't want to say it's old fashioned or anything like that, but certainly we've been doing it a long time, and we go off on tangents anyway.
We do.
So we might have a guide of things that we might want to talk about, relevant stuff of the day, and just more chat rather than doing it sort of the sort of formal way that we have been doing it, in terms of moving on now to our next topic. And just sort of, did you see Billy Zane the other day dressed up as Marlon Brando?
Did you see Donald Trump the other day fondling a microphone?
Yeah. Blame him for that. He's been in your room.
Squirrels are taking... pet squirrels' heads are falling off. Have you seen that? Fucking squirrel get detained in some New York. I don't know. I think they put the squirrel down and people are losing their fucking minds over this squirrel getting put down. I feel for the squirrel, but...
It's a squirrel.
Fucking madness.
I think there's a squirrel in here.
Oh, I know. I'm buzzing for this election in the US. I can't tell you. I cannot wait for the next day or so. I am absolutely buzzing. I've been following it for weeks. I think there'll be violence no matter what, and I am just going to sit with a big bucket of popcorn.
I don't want to see that. But it's
2,000 miles away. No, I don't want to see it, Stephen.
No, I'm saying it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's something that's going to happen regardless.
Regardless of whether I want to see it or not, it's going to happen. Yeah. And I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch it. And it's going to be incredibly entertaining. There's going to be fireworks no matter what. I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah.
Not buzzing for that. Yeah, my dog's going to be getting drugged tomorrow. Yeah. He's been getting drugged the last couple of days anyway. But that's going to round it up, isn't it, Steve?
It is, yeah.
What's your thoughts on the list of topics we touched on? What's your thoughts on me holding a mic for the last hour and I'd say about an hour? Incredible. Building the muscles up. I have to build my grit strength back up anyway. I became a whipped creature. Hear that crack in there? Jesus Christ, I'm like a bag of fucking bones. I can crack. I'm double jointed. I can do the hitchhiker thumb. I'm a double jointed freak. I can crack bones at will. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Johnny Depp not coming back for Pirates of the Caribbean 6 and Insider? Confirmed, I do believe. I read the article briefly. You touched upon it as well, Stephen. That he more than likely won't be coming back. It's potentially going to be a soft reboot of Margot Robbie. Are you furious? Are you a Sparrow fan that's furious over the lack of Sparrow returns in the franchise?
Sparrow returns. That could be the title.
What did they do something with Sparrow there and I couldn't think of it. Share your thoughts down below about Pirates of the Caribbean if you've got anything to say. Thoughts on the late great Quincy Jones passing away at the age of 91. Sad news, incredible figure. He's left a lasting sort of legacy though. Share your thoughts on that. Finally, on Liam Gallagher teasing a new Oasis album, he says that Noel's already got material done. I presume they've still got to record it. Do you believe him? Do you want to see it? What's your thoughts on it? Share it down below. Finally, GTA 6, second trailer, days away from dropping. Are you looking forward to the game? To what you're going to see within this trailer? If you aren't, you're probably the only person in the entire planet that isn't, unless you're a 90-year-old sort of incontinent person with an infatuation with plants who's maybe or maybe not in palliative care and potentially lost any semblance of reality. In which case you won't care. Share your thoughts down below on the GTA 6 second trailer. Any of you want to share, put it down below in the comment section. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyes on YouTube. Follow button, notifications button over on Twitch to see us live over there as well. Thank you to the comments. A couple of comments, I don't even know what they're talking about. You says it's a sort of market thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for them anyway. And all that's left to be said until the next time, thank you for watching us and bye-bye.